Termination did not help us one bit. Per the Treaty of 1864, the Klamath, Modoc, and Yahuskan people were placed on land abundant in natural resources, including rivers, lakes, marshes, and vast timberlands. With the increase in demand for lumber during World War II, the Klamath Tribe's reservation was in prime position to turn the lumber into a lucrative industry.
There were 27 mills in Klamath County at the time of termination, and 7 of those mills ran 24/7 off of timber that was taken off the Klamath Reservation.
The Klamath Tribes, a sovereign nation, has always had the inherent right to govern themselves. Yet their numerous business interests and infrastructure were subject to government oversight.
They assumed this parental role, I call it, where they would virtually want to make all of the decisions on behalf of the tribe over all of our resources, our lands, our people, everything. And our representatives would then have to lobby Congress day in and day out to get our own monies released so we could move forward with programs and projects. And that created an awful amount of resentment internally against the United States.
After World War II, President Eisenhower pressured Congress to get out of the Indian business. This was called termination of federal supervision.
It really changed my life because I was told that if you're not an Indian no more, you're terminated.
Despite the Klamath Tribe's general membership voting against termination twice, the federal government broke their treaty and the Klamath Tribes were terminated under the Termination Act, or Public Law 587, enacted on August 13, 1954. The law was touted as liberating the tribes from government oversight.
They lied to us, of course, telling us we were going to do good and we could be on our own, we could live where we want, we could buy our own home, we could buy land. But a lot of our people lost the land.
The former reservation, consisting of the remaining 525,700 acres, was then placed under the National Forest Administration, now known as the Wainema National Forest. The Klamath Tribes never received adequate compensation for their natural resources, including all of the land, mineral rights, and subsurface water. They were only paid for an undervalued assessment of the ponderosa pine.
It was devastating to the tribe. We become from one of the richest tribes in the United States to one of the poorest tribes. It was the timber that they wanted.
You might have thought you were rich to begin with, but you were poor overnight. And left with what? Fractured people, with people moving away to Oakland and to Portland. After 30 years of persistent lobbying and perseverance, the Klamath Tribes regained federal recognition, which restored all federal rights, services, and benefits. However, the Klamath Tribes were restored without their former land-based.
To me, the Klamath Restoration Act never fulfilled what we wanted it to fulfill, and what we wanted it to fulfill was a true restoration of the Klamath Tribes, which included the reestablishment of our homeland.
We fought. Seems like we had to fight for every little thing we had. And we still are.
Given everything that the Klamath Tribes have been through, going from one of the wealthiest, one of the strongest tribes in this nation to losing everything and being able to survive every terrible policy that's been thrown at it, everything that the courts have done to us, everything that the locals, were still here. We're resilient people, we're strong people.
As far as celebrating, I do that every day because now I am considered a Klamath tribal member.